functionalities and how the command interpreter works. That's what we are going to be looking at in. But before we dive right in, I'm going. All right, guys. So the project, the Airbnb project, we are going to be looking at. It has a lot of components. You have the console.py, which I'm just looking at here, and you have other things. Model is a directory. Okay, it contains all of this file. Then you have your test file, have test, right? Then you have engine, which is a directory. So a lot of files. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain this thing, using a simplified version that you'll be able to understand. Then I'm going to drop the links, the file, the link to the file in the description of the video, so that you can go ahead and have access to it. But I want you to understand what is happening, because we cannot go ahead to be having all of these in this video. So I'm going to describe it using a phone book manager, which we are going to talk about. That will help you grasp the idea behind what we have. Again, serialization and deserialization, there's a video on that, so I'm going to drop that in the description too, and every other thing will be shared there too. Okay, before we go to the other one, I'm going to explain some about the CLI. So basically, one of such is, what does it stand for? What's a command line interpreter? Okay, you can also call it a command line share or a command line. It's a software that allows user enter command by typing them as. Or in summary, you can say it's a program that takes in command, and I think that's simple enough. It takes in an input, a prompt. It requires a prompt from the user. It takes in an input from the user, and then go ahead to execute such, and that's basically what a command line interpreter is, or what it does. So we'll go ahead to start working on this, but as we go along, I'm going to explain bit by bit how this is going to work, all right, so that you understand how it works. So first, we'll go ahead to import. We'll go ahead to CMD. Okay, so we are in CMD, which is basically a standard library, a Python standard library, and it helps us create functionality for it. Help us with the functionalities for creating a command line interpreter. So it's a library, and if you want to know more about that, go ahead to this site. Okay, this is basically YMT, that is Python of the week.com, as well as the documentation, the CMD documentation library. So you can go ahead to visit all of that and find out more information about CMD command. So back here, so we are going to import that CMD command, and I'm going to explain basic keys, basic highlights of the CMD module. Okay, and basically, firstly, we will look at in respect to command line command process loop. What we mean by this is that it's the main entry point for the command process loop, right? And we are going to be using the CMD loop to be able to do, and we have the command method. Okay, basically, it's a subclass of the CMD.cmd module, and it helps us execute this basic method. You have do hello, do create, do get, do delete, do update, and many more, right? Then you have the, okay, I will explain that using basically what we want to do. What we want to do this application is we want to be able to, the user to be able to create create a probably, let's say, contact with their name and their phone number. I believe you understand. Or like a contact management. add a contact and a contact name, and you can be able to basically retrieve that contact you've added, you know, retrieve. Then you can as well update the contact by changing, adding another phone number to replace the former one. Then you can delete that contact. Then you can list, basically list, and as well as update such a contact. And CMD module is going to help us with functionality of method that we. Then you have special command, have the end of line, the back, I think, the windows that can help you exit out of the program. Exit. Then you have customization, help us customize the behavior of the command interpreter. Basic method like pre-loop, post-loop, empty line, all of these, they help us. We are going to be using them as we build the CLI. They help us customize the behavior of the, help you welcome that manager, that and that, whatever it is, welcomes them. If you are logging out of the program, you are going to use, okay, and it's going to play a message to the user, more like, okay, logging out of program, or goodbye for using this application, whatever it is. Have the pre as the, let's go ahead to continue to create build applications. What the CMD modules, like I said, it's a library. Let's still create a class, right? We want to create a class, and we want to call this, let's say, all right. Okay, so go ahead to passing CMD MD. Okay, just like that. As that argument, like I said, you could, the implementation Python module going to help you and more of all of this, how they work. So then after we pass that, we are going to create the prompt. All right. Basically, what is the prompt? It's going to be what initiates the user to enter an input, what the user sees, all right, as they intend to want to enter an input, so it display. So if you have a blank screen, right, the user will not know where do I type. But if you have something like this, as this cursor is blinking, that we know enter something here, so to begin to type like that. And look here, you also are here. This is not blinking, but it's prompt, expecting to enter a command, and the program is going to process that command and execute a result or an output for the user. So what do we want our prompt to be like? You can customize it. Basically, it's going to be a string, so you can customize it whatever you want it to be. I just have it, and I will have arrows just like that. You can create yours, you can customize it to whatever you want the prompt to be. So that's going to be, so I'm not passing in any yet here, so pass, right, passing in argument method, so going to pass that and go back here. I'll head to, okay, what I want to do, if underscore underscore exactly in which I will explain short where we have this. Okay. Then enter the name of our class, which is going to bring that out. That's so dot md. Okay, just like this. So what is this and what does this? Firstly, you have this if name is exactly equal to name. Why are we putting so going to be the very last line of your program? Whatever we are going to build is going to end here. This is going to be line. And what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Have a look. What does this shows? A line creates basically an instance of first if name is exactly equal to name. It checks if the script is being run directly as a module or imported, or if it is imported. It is run as a module. If not imported, then it's going to execute the code block that the condition going to execute the code blocks. And this other line, what this identify is create an instance of the class we created here, H, B, and B. It create an instance the class and call the CMD loop. And the CMD loop starts the command processing. Wait for the user to enter a prompt. Okay, wait for the user to enter a. When the user enter a prompt, like I said, it's going to be the very last line prompt. So whatever you are going to enter is going to hide here in import CMD lines. I have an idea. So basically, let's run this and see if that is going to create a command line interpreter, even though we don't have any method yet. How do you run a Python script? Python, Python, and the name of the file in console. All right, so you can see that is going to take us command line interpreter, and you have MB and B, which is the class we created, and have the prompt. Have here prompt is so if I go ahead, what command? If I do list, it doesn't exist on that's yes. So if I do help, that's the only command that shows. Why is that? The help command is built in into our CLI, is built in here. Don't need to create this method, it's already built. That's the only command I have here, only help. Okay, so we go ahead, create more and make it, more robust and look good. I believe this is basic. Okay, so what we want to do basically want to create a contact manager. So we want to build something that will make you understand how this command line interpreter work. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to create a re project. So I'll just go ahead to change my class to suit what we want to create, and that is what that manager. That have that. Then after that, I'll go ahead to come here. What are we changing again? Of course, this we're going to change the that manager. That's which we are changing here to complete that. Then Let's also do that here. Let me just contact book, right? That is going to be our prompt. Okay, so yep. Okay, we are all set. This is so here. When you come back here, you can discover that we don't have a command to exit or quit. We are going to be creating one. How do you quit from here? You go ahead to type Control C here. So it's going to like eject you out of the program. Okay, it's going to interrupt and actually you out of programs. We are going to create basic method that can help us quit rather than using control. Then we will create going to first one we want to create want to define we want to create that is explain preloop. We are going to create a preloop method. Keep using function. A function, a special function. Preloop is going to be called and what like I explained earlier, that is going to introduce the user command line interpreter. So we are going to pass just single argument, and that is going to be self. What does this do basically? The self, the first parameter every method in a class, and it's used to access variables and method within that class. The first command or the first argument or parameter will pass. So that's going to be f, and want to have the going to create a doc string here, okay, to command documented method called once before for the command. These are doc string. Go ahead to go ahead to create that a unique message that is going to welcome that to the application. Going to form of string. Welcome to the type list, and that is going to be going to introduce, since we have a preloop, be wise to have a, like I explained earlier, which is going to be what is going to say to the user when they logging out of find a again is depth of its once method. Going to be a simple message. We're going to use print function to print out and message will display to the user when they are logging in the contact manager. Right? That is going to be displayed to user. So since we have this, I think this. Let's run this before we continue. Back here. Okay, it's going to take manager, and if I see, it's going to display the pre-loop with the message, the method called and loop. Before this prompt is displayed, you have this message, right? I'm going to print that. So before you start, so have this. Then if you want to, let me do help again. Have that. Basically, I want to exit. I've not created a function to exit yet, but if I press Ctrl, it's going to loop out the program. Okay, like that. Let's go ahead and create a method that is going to help exit without first exit the application. So I quickly define that, and that is going method, and I'll call this quit. Going to help without using control. So quit going to take in 2 meter. I'll be self and arg basically, and I'll go ahead add a doc string. Program. Okay, so we are going to return what this on true. Going to how that works is when we return true, CMD loop going to take the value that we are returning this value, and is going to help us break out the CLI. I believe you understand. Help the user quit the program successfully. Have done that? I think I'll go ahead to check what's happening now. As you can see here, when we are exiting, we don't have a command. So that is why this is break out without forcefully in the program. So now that we have one, let's go ahead. I'll just edit this and let's see how it works. Run Python console. Okay, welcome to the contact manager. Press that and go ahead. Yep. If I do, going to count we have here, right? Yep. I told you a beauty command, a beauty method, the quit method. So let's try that. Let's do quit. If I go ahead to do to print out nicely that message that we had the last time, exiting the manager. That's it. We go ahead to add other our the class. All right, guys. Since we have this first class and we have done the define the preloop post loop and we have the do exit, which we did earlier in here, which we linked. We have both quit and exit to exit the program. So we're gonna go ahead to check. So I'll come here, I'll run the script. All right, so if I do help and I hit enter, so it's going to list nicely. First, it will enter welcome to the contact manager, type help or question mark to list commands. So you have all the commands, exit, quit, and help. So these are just the list of commands we have on the script. So if I try to do exit, you see it's going to exit of the program nicely. So either exit or quit is going to take us out of the program. So that is it. Now that we have that, we'll go ahead to add other functions, add other methods, really. So what are we trying to achieve? It's a contact manager. So what we want to do is that we want to be able to add a contact. Okay, we want to be able to add a contact, and we want to be able to after adding the contact, we should be able to get the contact with the contact name. So we want to retrieve, more like retrieve the contact, retrieve the contact. Okay, I'm going to be using the function do get. Okay, here I'm going to use the function do add to be able to add the contact. Then we'll use do get to retrieve the contact. Then after that, we should be able to list our contact, list the contacts we added using the function do list, and we should be able to delete a contact on our contact list, and we are going to use the function do delete. Okay, so we add more order. Probably we add a function or a method to upgrade or update content. So I'm just trying to create a scenario so that you understand what we'll be working on. So this is what we are going to be doing next. So I just try and follow through as we go on with that. So like here we have all of that. So we go ahead to add that. Okay, just yet before we are going to, okay, I haven't added that. We are going to add a class variable which we called contact. This is a class variable that will help us to store the contact, okay, as we add them. Like it's going to be the dictionary to store the contacts we are going to add. All right, so we'll go ahead to add the first method which we talked about earlier. Okay, all right, so I'll just go ahead to define that method using do add. Okay, then I'll pass the argument, and like we said, we are using self, which is the first parameter of every method in the class, to access variables and method within the class. So we are using that, and we go ahead to, okay, let's add the documentation like we have been doing. Okay, sorry, it's supposed to be string. All right, so add a contact with a name and phone number. Okay, because that's what we are trying to achieve. So I'll just do that and close that. So I'll go ahead to we we want to be able to handle errors in this method, so we are going to use the try method. Okay, I'm going to do try, and what this does is that it goes hand in hand with except. Okay, so it's used for error handling, and it ensures that the program can handle situation where the user input does not match the expected format. Okay, so if the user enter an incorrect command, the program, instead of crashing, is going to catch that error, and display a or like a text, is going to display something out to the user rather than crashing the program. So that is what this we do. So I'll do try name phone. Okay, then I'll just do list.split, which is a function that is going to help us split the name and the phone number, okay, as the user enters it, the function. And I'll just put that, and go ahead to do self.contact, okay, which has to be the same with the variable, the class variable we entered here. So self.contact, just like that, and going to take name, and that will be equal to phone, okay, which is corresponding to the phone number. All right, so what we are going to print this using an F string, and I'll just do, so if the user is able to add a contact using the name, we're going to do add the name as well as the number. Okay, is going to, what is going to do is going to print out this series of statements, and is going to say contact added, and is going to let us know that the name which the user added or put in, as well as the contact, which is the phone number, have been added. Okay, so that is just what it's going to do. Right, so if the user provided any input apart from what is expected, a name and a phone number, then it's going to print out some certain errors, okay, rather than crashing the whole program. So we are using this try and except to block, to ensure that the program can handle such error. So except value error, and we are going to print out this set of statements, and it's just going to be to show, okay, the command entered by the user is invalid. Can't spell invalid. Invalid, so invalid input, just like that. And I'm going to tell the user to please enter the name and phone number, okay, separated. Let me just move this there. Okay, separated by a space. All right, so that is what is needed to run the program, separated by space. So that's it. And what this does really, like I've explained earlier, is going to catch the errors, and is going to prevent the program from crashing whenever the user enter an invalid input, enter something that's not expected. Okay, so let's see if this works. Let's see if this works correctly. So I'm just going to open up my terminal back. Okay, so just run this, run artifile. I'll run it. Okay, so Okay, let me clear here again. All right. Okay, I just needed to the document the indentation have to just be right. You know, this Python, and you have to be very careful with indentation. So I think yeah, this should work. So I come back here. Okay, python console.py. If I run that, all right, it's going to take us in, and if I do help to, all right, it's going to do that. So you are going to see that this method add have been added here nicely. This one we have, you know, we added here. So let's see if it's going to work. So if I do add John and I type a number, okay, let's see, we still have it some. Okay, what's wrong? Oh, sorry, this line, the argument will pass here, so it's supposed to be line dot split. Sorry, my mistake. Right, so all right, again, let me try this. Okay, we are in. I believe you can see this. All right, so the next thing to do, let me try to add John 08067324132. Okay, I just added a random number. All right, so it's going to add that contact. So as you can see, John added, contact added successfully, contact added. So we will be able to add that contact. So we still have. All right, so since it's working, we are going to continue and add other methods. Okay, so I'll just toggle this terminal to do that, control plus backtick. I'll just leave that and add other methods. So from here, I'll create more methods in this class. So the next one I want to do, I want to define, like what we talked about, define do get, that is going to help us get retrieve our contact after we add them. Okay, so def do get, right? So I'll pass self, which is the first argument to the function, then I'll pass name as an argument to the function, because we are going to be getting the contact with the name. So again, I'll add the docstring all right, and I just want to say this way, sorry, retrieve, I hope that's correct, retrieve a contact phone number by the name, right, by name. Okay, so I'll just all right, so I'll just have to add that. Then I'll go ahead to then I'll go ahead to do an if statement. If name in self dot contact okay, and this is going to check if the name we are trying to retrieve, if it was added, you know, to the contact. So it's going to just check for that, and then it's going to print using an f string, going to print the name, and we just want to say that name's phone number, is, then we use self.contact, I don't know why spelling, self.contact, all right, then the name. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Then after that, we do an S. If that is not the case, that means if that contact was never added to the list, then we are going to print a set of statement again, this time again using an F string, but we are going to say no contacts found with the name. Okay, with the name, that's the name the user entered. Okay, which is the name that was entered by that user. None of such contact was found. Then okay, that's that. Then before I run this, let me quickly add another function that will help us list another method that will help us list the contact. Like I explained earlier, we're going to do list. Okay, then we are going to pass self, which is the first, then we pass again an underscore, and so I'll add an if statement. If not self.contact. Okay, then if the contact we are trying to list, if it's not among the set of added contacts, then we are going to print no contacts available. Okay, then if that is not the case, okay, I need to s, then we'll print of s for name, phone in self dot contact dot items, then print again using an F string, print all the available contacts. Okay, by their name. So we are going to input the name by which the contacts will be printed. Okay, then with their corresponding phone number, which we use phone to represent. All right, so basically what we are saying is that if we are using the do list to list the contact like I explained earlier, so if not self.contact, if no contact is added, print no contact available. S for name and phone in self.contact.items is going to loop through and check the dictionary, which is this, okay, to retrieve the available contact. So then if it does that, it's going to check the contact with the name and the phone number. So it's going to check that. So if it's available, it's going to print them with the name as well as the corresponding phone number. Okay, so in that dictionary, it's going to check the key value pair. So this is the key and with their corresponding value, all right, which is the number. The name is the key with their corresponding value. You know, that's how items are added or saved in a dictionary. So if this is done rightly, before we add any other function, I think it's time. Let's see what we have. Okay, I'm going to bring back my terminal just like that, and let's exit first so that we can have the changes. Then I'm going to run this again, console.py. Okay, let me exit and clear. It's becoming too messy, so that you okay. So I'll do this. Okay, sorry. Let me just increase that a little. Okay, let me just expand it. All right, I believe you can see that now clearly. Okay, so let me go ahead and clear the screen. All right, so what I want to do, let's run it again. Okay, I think, let me check through. Okay, let me run this again. All right, so we are in. So if I do help to list, all right, all of these are going to be added. All right, I did not add documentation to one of them. I think let me just quickly do that to the do list method. Do list. Okay. Okay. All right, let me just add documentation to that quickly before we. So what does it do? It retrieves a contact phone number by its name. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it. Again, we have to exit to. Let me clear. Okay, so let's run again. All right, we are in. So if I list now, if I do help, all right, you see that all the commands are documented now. Yeah, so they are documented. So let's try to add a contact. If I do add John with the number. Okay, you see contact added. So if I do add okay, let's try to list the contacts. If I do get, all right, with using lists, it helps us to list all the contacts available here. Okay, so that's that. I think we'll need to add the method to help delete the contact. So I think list we do that, and get, let me try get John. That is going to work. All right, so John's phone number is that, so it works nicely. All right, so that works. And let me close this back. So we go ahead. What we want to do now, we want to add another method. I think, I think I'll add one or two more methods. So we want to add the delete method. So what that is going to do is that it's going to help us delete a contact. So I'll do define do underscore delete. Okay, then I'll pass the self. We are going to, of course, be deleting the contact by its name. Okay, then let's make it a documented delete a contact by name. Okay, right, so after that we want to use the if statement, if name in self dot contact. All right, that means if the contact is present, so we want to use the del, which stands for delete function, delete self dot contacts by its name. All right, so So after doing that, we want to ensure that it works by printing a corresponding statement using an F string to show that the operation the user performed went on smoothly. So it's going to print out deleted successfully. Okay, so and what we are going to be deleting, what, the name, of course, which also takes the contact, the phone number. All right, so we have an else statement. If that is not the case, if there's no such contact, if that contact the user intended to delete is not available, so you're going to print no contact found with the given name or something like that. Let's just say with the given name. Okay, all right, so okay, so that's it. None of such contacts found, no such contact found with the given name. Okay, okay, it's correct. I think this was done correctly. Anything you are missing out? All right, just before we go ahead to open our terminal to check out how it works, I'm going to add one more method. So that will be to update your contact. Okay, but eventually you want to change any of the contact, you want to update it. Okay, we are going to add a method that will do that. So the time is, we have spent a lot, so I have already pre-written that out, so I'll just put it here. All right, and it's going to, what it's going to do is going to help us update the contact phone number. Okay, if the phone number by any means change, is going to help update it. Okay, we are going to do the name new phone number equals name.split is going to split that by this comma, which is going to serve as a delimiter to do that. If name is self.contact is, so self.contact is going to check it by the name and is going to assign that to the new contact which you are trying to add, and if that is done successfully, it's going to print out contact updated by name. Okay, then it's going to updated the old one and the new one. Then else, if that is not the case, if the name of the contact you are trying to change does not exist in the directory, is going to print invalid input. Please enter the name and new phone number separated by a space. So that is what we have, guys. Okay, I think it's okay. Are we missing out on anything? Let me check. All right, I think this is fine. So the next we are going to do, we are going to go to the terminal and see how that works nicely. All right, I think we are all set to go back to the terminal and run our script and check how the program works. Okay, you can look through. I think it's all good. All right, so let me go over to the terminal and I'm going to go ahead to run Python console.py. Okay, so we are in. Let's add a contact. To add a contact, you use add. So first we can do help add. Okay, it's going to say add the contact with name and phone number. So I'll do add Peter with the phone number 0706532 whatever 1145. All right, I'll add that. Contact added. All right, let's add another one. Add Jane with the phone number 09134125679. All right, let's add Joy. All right, let's add Joy with the phone number 08132456897. all right, so if I do list, it's going to help me list all the contacts. You see we have Peter here, Jane and Joy all in the contact directory. So what do we want to do again? What we want to delete a contact. So to delete a contact, just going to do delete, then the name. I'm just going to delete the contact by the name. If you are confused, you can do help. Delete a contact by name. So it's going to help you do that. So just do delete Jane. All right, so if I hit enter, you see contact deleted successfully, Jane. So if I do list, so it's going to, we are having just 2 contacts here left. So the next thing, let's update a contact. So how do we do that? To do that, we'll just go ahead to do, what contact do we want to update? Let's say again, let me list, spelling this wrongly, list the contact. Okay, we have Peter and Joy. So we want to update Peter's contact. So I'll just type Peter, and you see the contact here is 07064. so we want to change it to 080. So 08064 231155. okay, so we want to update Peter's contact. So after that, I'll hit enter. Okay, sorry, done wrongly. So what we'll have to do is we do update. Yeah, that's a command, sorry about that. Update Peter, the name, then the new phone number, which is what, 08064 231155. all right, if I hit that, I'll hit enter. Okay, so you see contact updated, and if I go ahead to list, you see that what will be displayed is the new updated contact we entered for Peter. I believe you find this fun. All right, you can try it out. Make sure you type it out yourself and do all of that, and you see that this is really fun, this content manager. So it's part of trying to learn the Airbnb clone project. all right, this is going to help us know more about it. We have another video where we talk more in depth about each of the individual files. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you enjoy this. You can drop your questions if you have any, drop them in the comment section so that we can discuss about this together. All right, I hope you are content today. I hope you have just done something today interesting. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.